Hello, I'm KD Hale, Vice President of the Association of African American Cultural Gardens, and I have the honor of welcoming you, our audience, to our Sankofa Web Series. Our goal is to educate regarding the African American experience through this series. We will be interviewing some of the most interesting, engaging leaders, business leaders, and great entrepreneurs in this great city. These change agents will tell us about their journey, who they are, who inspired them, what they do, and what does African American history and African American cultural gardens mean to them. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page, the Association of African American Cultural Gardens. And go to our website, aAACG.org, for most updated information regarding events in our Sankofa series, which can also be viewed on demand.
This is Harry Boomer. The African American Garden is one of 38 gardens in the Cleveland Cultural Garden Federation on Martin Luther King Drive. It celebrates the African American experience. Already completed on the upper level is the Past Pavilion and the Door of No Return. The black granite represents the fearful experience of those taken from Africa in confined quarters on slave ships. Yet to be constructed is a channel for water that cascades down the hill, representing the Middle Passage on the Atlantic Ocean, to a black granite terrace that is etched with the Little Dipper and the North Star, which guided thousands of enslaved people to freedom in the North. The water will continue to flow down the hillside in reference to the Ohio River and the Great Lakes that facilitated the journey for a better life. It also marks the continued struggle of black people to the present. Ending at Martin Luther King Drive, the garden will symbolize the spirit of tremendous resilience of our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents who came from the South to a better, prosperous life in the North. The future platform beside the MLK Boulevard's walking trail will have benches and a water feature that gives homage to our past and hope to our future generations that anything is possible regardless of the challenges.
This is Obie Shelton. Let's finish it. The African American Cultural Garden has a portion already built at the top of the hill. With your help, it will cover the entire hill as a magnificent tribute to those who came before us, as well as a symbol of pride and hope for future generations. We need your donations of money, time, and energy to make it happen. Everybody can contribute something. We can do it. Visit AAACG.org, AAACG.org, and donate, or click the Contact tab and let us know you want to be a volunteer. Let's finish it.
Hello, I'm Beverly Lloyd, board member of the Association of African American Cultural Gardens. Welcome to our 7th series, our 7th Sankofa series, where you will meet some of the most interesting people in Cleveland, brought to you by the Association of African American Cultural Gardens. Today, I have with me Mr. Gerrick Doss, owner of the Chick-fil-a in Warrensville Heights, Ohio. Hello, Mr. Doss.
How are you?
We are so glad to have you with us today, and we're going to get right to it. We just want to know, first of all, if you could tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. I was born and raised in Detroit. My corporate career transferred me throughout the United States. We moved physically 9 times, and internally within states, total 14 times. Married for 34 years. We have 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son. 2 of my younger kids graduated from The Ohio State University, and my oldest daughter went to Norfolk State, so she went to an HBCU. We've been in Cleveland 17 years. And then I left GM in 2008, and about 18 months later, we opened up Chick-fil-a at Harvard Park.
Who are some of your mentors that help you to decide maybe to leave GM and open up, become an entrepreneur?
So I would tell you, I think entrepreneurship has been in my system. My grandfather had a reconditioning company back in the day when most black folks didn't have businesses. And so that's always been in my mind. And then when I decided to leave GM, and it was pretty much a God thing, right? God laid on my heart, was I going to trust GM or was I going to trust him? And so without anything lined up, we left. And I've tried to get a GM dealership and then or Chick-fil-A because I knew that ended the business. But Chick-fil-A's values matched mine, and thank God we went the Chick-fil-A route.
Who was most instrumental in helping you become the man you are today?
Well, I will tell you, my dad was very instrumental. He was like a third grade education coming from the South, but he taught me about hard work. You could set your clock by my dad. Didn't miss a day. And growing up in Michigan, it would be snowing. My dad made sure he made it to the Ford plant, tractor plant every day. And so when I looked at that, I understood that you would have to work hard in life. I'm not gonna say I'm not a bright guy, but I'm not always the brightest guy in the room, but it's gonna take a lot to outwork me. And I think as long as you have that kind of anchor and foundation, you can be successful in life.
What was your biggest challenge as you became an entrepreneur?
You know, having people to talk to. You know, I would recommend that everybody get a coffee table group of people that you can feed into and they can feed into you and give you some conversation. I ran into a friend who has since passed away, Van McCarley. He happened to own several Popeyes franchises. So I got a chance to talk to him because it's really different from being in corporate America, especially, you know, by God's grace, I was a corporate officer and vice president, to owning a Chick-fil-A franchise. But the one thing that stays the same is business, and business is the business of people. So really how well you can lead and deal with people, the more successful you are. So that did transfer.
How does this tie into African American history? Because we think you are a part of African American history.
Well, I will tell you, I think in my mind, the way I look at things, I think the more we can own, the more we can control. See, if you don't own it, then you can't empower people, you can't hire people, because you don't control that aspect of your life or the business. So if you were to call me and say, would you hire my son? I can make that decision because it's my business. Where when I was in corporate America, I'd have to write a white paper, 20 pages on justifying why I wanted to hire somebody. And I think for us, the better we can do these kind of things, successful business, I think the better we are as a community.
And what is the significance of the African American cultural garden to you? Is it important to you?
I think anything about our history is important to me. And I think it's not about using it as an excuse or an anchor, it's using it to propel us forward. And I think the more we know about our history, the more successful we can be. Because I was born this way, right? It wasn't a choice. And so the better I can view the past, the more important and better I can navigate the future. So I love it.
Mr. Gerrick Doss, what words would you give to our younger generation?
So I would tell them a few things. The first thing I would tell them would be that your current circumstance does not determine your destiny, and that your past does not determine your future. See, you can use your past as an anchor, or you can use it as fuel. See, in my life, I chose to use it to propel me forward. And I think if we understand that, see, there's hope. Doesn't mean you don't work hard, doesn't mean, but there's hope. And you got to use that as in my mind, as fuel to propel forward. The second thing I would tell them, and I would tell anybody this, in life, you can have it, H-A-V-E. And I know some people heard this before, but the H stands for a healthy fear of God. That's what I believe. The A is for attitude, because in life, Charles Swindoll has a great quote, in life it's 90% of how you respond to things and not the things themselves. V stands for victory. You need to walk in this life with a victorious attitude, because you can control a lot of things that happen. And finally, effort, which is the E. You can't want to be a president of the United States if you don't want to put president of the United States effort in. You can't be a doctor if you don't want to put doctor effort in. You can't be an entrepreneur if you don't want to put entrepreneur effort in. And so whatever you want in life, you need to put the effort in to achieve that, and you will. So that would be the two things I would tell them. And I would tell anybody.
You heard these words of wisdom with Mr. Gerrick Doss, owner of the Chick-fil-a in Warrensville Heights. And we thank you so much for being here with us in our 7th Sankofa series, brought to you by the Association of African American Cultural Gardens. Hello, I'm Beverly Lloyd with the Association of African American Cultural Gardens, here today with our Do You Know segment. Let's see if you know who these fine individuals are. He was an American attorney, civil rights pioneer, and politician. He served 15 terms in the United States House of Representatives, representing the east side of Cleveland. And he was the first African American congressman elected in the state of Ohio. If you guessed Louis Stokes, then you do know.
Hi, my name is Rachel Hill with the Association of African American Cultural Gardens. The mission of the Association of African American Cultural Garden is to educate regarding the African American experience and to complete the monument for the African American Garden. Our Sankofa series represents our dedication to bring you the history and amazing journey of African Americans in this great city. Our garden represents a journey, starting with the door of no return to the resilience of our ancestors and family to make a difference in this country. The water feature gives hope and joy for future generations, knowing that you can accomplish anything with dedication and hard work. We are on the journey to complete the garden. Our goal is to break ground this year to complete the garden, but we need your help to get to the finish line. Please make your tax-deductible donation by going to aacg.org or mail your check to P.O. Box 20237, Cleveland, Ohio 44120. Thank you.